Here we go. Do you consent to being recorded?
Yes.
I like that Google is like sends you a thing and it's like tell them
And tell them that we told you.
that they're being recorded.
Don't do it. This is
So
a
now
two consent party state.
we love. We love.
We do love it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Workplace Comedy, the podcast where we hash out what happens on the daily grind. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Sam Everett Baker, and I'm here with
Michelle Oh. I'm enunciating today. I feel very
like it.
serious. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
tend to
it's a
just run it
serious
off.
day.
It is a serious day. I don't know why, but I really just felt that in my soul.
I get it. Hi, honey. How was your new year?
My new year was good. Like I don't do a lot. I just kind of chill, but yeah, I chilled. I relaxed.
Are you of the resolution?
Usually not, but
Oh,
I feel like I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try
no,
it. We'll see how it
no.
goes. Well, because it's like I don't do like I'm ever like like just let's get into more better shape. Like I'm not, I'm, so it's more or less like big things. Like let's get serious about our lives this year. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that.
That is the energy, right?
Yeah, like let's stop
And like
playing games.
2023, I feel like, I mean, I have a hard time with like, this year was a shit year and that year was a shit year. Now, granted, some years are shit years.
True.
And in the past, like 4 or 5 of them, I think we all have been riding those trains.
For sure.
And like 2023, I mean, it wasn't, did I thrive? No.
Mm-hmm.
Was I in the gutter? No.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me, sometimes, because we're like, I'm 30, like 4-ish, and like, I'm not as far in my career as I would like to be.
Right. For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, there's that, and my room is never clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's never clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get it clean.
Right.
It's never clean.
For sure.
So I feel, so like 2023 was more a year of just like accepting, like we were a little depressive.
Right.
We were a little depressed.
Yeah.
Past years and recent years, it's not a question as to why.
Yeah.
But, so now it's like I haven't really written anything down. Like I'm not like,
Yeah.
lose 40 pounds, lose blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it's very much like, oh, I would like to be more active. I would like to eat less fast food.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Mine are like be less of an asshole. I'm like, I think I can work on that.
Sometimes
Not
I think I
even
can
not
work
an
on
asshole, just less. That
less.
feels doable,
Less.
Like stop bringing down the whole vibe. I can do that.
Yeah.
Like being less negative is a whole, like seriously, like a thing. Like I can kind of turn anything into trash. Give me a minute. I'll find the angle, Sam.
Can't wait to do it.
I'm here for it. And it's not like something like I that's like natural to me. It's something like it's like a bad habit. It's like let me beat life to the punch on this one and just make this horrible. And it's like, girl, you don't gotta do that. That's not me like my natural vibe. My natural vibe is really just happy and chill. It's like let's live up to who we are this year.
Yeah, I can relate.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate. I'm in general like I think I'm same though, and I would like to be happier, and
right.
like I would like to emit the happiness,
right,
and the positivity.
Right. Let's be the party this year.
I don't know if you're trying to be the party because one thing that I'm learning about myself, be the party. I am good. I love some solo time, so I went up north to visit my family.
Nice.
We did Christmas and New Year's late.
Mm-hmm.
So I was driving home, and when I drive from home to home, when I drive from where my family is to LA, because I work overnight, right? We like to sleep just a little bit, and then we like to like drive arrive in LA around like noon, 1, maybe 2,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3, maybe we have lunch,
Ooh.
and then go to sleep,
Oh, yeah, for
and then go
sure.
to work for our overnight, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't sleep a ton, woke up,
Mm-hmm.
went to get breakfast with my mom and my aunt, did a little shopping, ready to leave around like I think it was like 9:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Stick me in LA around like 2.
Right.
Driving. I get to just before Santa Barbara,
Mm-hmm.
going south on the 101, right?
Okay.
Now there's two things you could do. You could take the 101 south
Mm-hmm.
from like it's called Buellton to Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Goes along the coast,
That's pretty.
nice ocean view drive.
Yeah.
Or you can take the canyon through Lake Cachuma. Cachuma. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. You should get that. Windy,
Oh,
2
no.
lanes,
No, not a windy situation.
rarely a ton of traffic on it.
Really?
I like to do it because I am from an area with a lot of much windier, more dangerous roads
Oh, okay. You're
that I
used
just kind of grew up on. So for me, it's just like not that serious.
right.
Cuts 30 minutes out of the overall drive.
I mean, that's not nothing. 30 minutes. That's decent.
So I'm like exiting the 101 through like Los Olivos, which is, if anyone knows where we are, Santa Ynez area. And I'm getting ready to get on this, like, I think it's 154 Lake Cachuma.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much traffic, Michelle.
Oh, God.
I can't do it. And I said, well, what the hell is this, Queen? So then I like pull up my GPS. My GPS isn't working. It's kind of remote. Trying to
Uh-huh.
text, trying to phone call, nothing's working, kind of remote. Pull off. There's a casino right where this area is. I like this casino, the Shumash Casino. I want you to go. It's okay.
Oh.
Pull off. They have Wi-Fi. I tap into the Wi-Fi. I look. 101 was shut down. Accident at 2 a.m.
Ooh.
The entire 101 South closed.
Wow.
Diverted
Mm-hmm.
to this little 2-lane windy canyon road. And it's called a highway, but it's a road.
Mm-hmm.
And we have semi-trucks and cars on this road.
Girl.
Now, it is not baffling to me that there would be a ton of stopped traffic on this road when you're diverting an entire major state
Yeah, for
highway.
sure. Yeah.
Except that there was also an accident on this road.
Oh, no.
So it's like not shut down, but it's also like no one can really get past.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? So we're great. I'm sitting. They were supposed to open up the highway at 1 p.m. I got there around 12:30. No big. We'll wait. 1 p.m. rolls
Right.
around, not open.
Were you
1:30 rolls around, not open.
were you completely just stuck? Like not moving at all?
Stopped.
Oh my God.
And then it would like move like maybe 3 feet and then it would stop again.
That's crazy, Sam.
And we're looking at like a 40-mile stretch of road.
That's like nuts.
So I'm sitting there. And finally around 2:30 happens. And I'm like, if the road isn't opened yet, then I would have like if it opens by like 3:30, I'll get home a little late. I'll take a quick nap. Won't be my best, but I can do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, maybe. So then I called my friend Savannah, and I was like, WWSD, what would Savannah do?
Mm-hmm.
And Savannah was like, honestly, I would just call them and give them an update. So I update them, and they're basically like, keep us posted.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you don't come in at your usual, so maybe you come in 2 hours late.
Right.
Not impossible. Great. Thank you for the support. Waiting. Nothing. 2 more hours roll around. It's like maybe 4:30 at this point. And my boss texts me and he was like, any updates? And I said, Queen, we haven't moved. I was like, I pulled over and I'm going to take a nap because bear in mind, I also haven't slept a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supposed to have been asleep for 2 hours at this point.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, I pulled over. I'm going to take a nap. And he texted me back and he's like, it's safe to say you're not coming into work tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about us. We got coverage. Like, just be safe. Like, do what you got to do.
Oh, that's
honestly, yeah. I was like, honestly, thank you. And I'm really sorry. And he's like, it's not your fault. Don't worry about it. And so, like, thank you, boss. Thank you, team who hunkered down.
Mm-hmm.
And so then my mom, she was like, what are you going to do? And she was like, just like, fine. We're solving.
Mm-hmm.
We're solving. And she was like, honestly, see what like a room is. If you can find one that's not ridiculous, I'll get it for you. Happy New Year.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I was like, you guys, so I found one pretty affordable, booked it. Thank you, Mom. Spent a night in solving by myself. And like when I tell you the sleep that I got in this, like it was a motel. It was not. There was a wall unit. I should have.
That's what I was about to say. We're
there
talking
was a
wall
unit.
Yeah.
There was a wall unit. I should have taken a picture. That would be funny. You know, again, but like I said, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get where you got to go.
True.
I don't shade a wall unit. I just like to avoid it if possible.
Listen, it's fine.
And this wasn't possible. And not only was it not possible to avoid, it was genuinely lovely.
It was.
I had a nice time. There's across the street, there's a wine tasting room that I like. I went there, sat, did a tasting, talked to Natalie. Thank you, Natalie. Went next door to the brewing company, had myself a burger.
That's lovely.
In bed by 8 p.m.
Wow.
So if you are feeling frazzle-dazzled, honey, go to a place by yourself. I didn't watch TV. I did some podcasting, podcast listening, and like a radio show that I like, but no real screens.
That's amazing.
Solo time.
That's like a little silver lining moment.
It was nice. I was like, this was honestly a really nice, like, I didn't realize that I like needed that. I don't know that I needed it, but I definitely felt really good having had it. Do you have talent?
I do have talent.
Well, I'm an investor looking to invest.
Okay.
Is what this person says. They say, open to any industry or business. I'm an investor with my own money. Email me as much info on you and your talent, including profit potential. I use my own money.
Period.
We can get things rolling if you have the right opportunity. Look forward to hearing from you.
I have money. It's mine. We can get things.
Maybe we should reach out.
Maybe we have talent. Listen.
We have a show. We have a whole show.
We do have a whole show. This might be the break we've been looking for.
Maybe we'll have to. My friend David, I work with him. Shout out. He listens, and he's always like, "Your show's really fun, blah blah." Blah. And you know, your show's hitting. The Golden Globes are coming up, and he's like, "You should be nominated for a Golden Globe." And I was like, "David," and maybe this is the op, Michelle.
Maybe it is.
This is the opportunity.
Maybe we need to like really look into this.
See if Nicole can get the email address.
I will ask.
But I wonder how like this investor would be, because there was a headline on Popgrave. Jodie Foster, I guess, did something with The Guardian on her frustration with Gen Z, which we are not Gen Z, we're millennials, which I don't know which letter that is.
I think it's not technically a letter. X. Well, I guess it would be Y. So
we're Y. So the ones after us, which honestly, they seem pretty smart. But the headline is Jodie Foster telling The Guardian regarding Gen Z. They're really annoying, especially in the workplace. They're like, nah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm going to come in at 10:30, or like in emails, I'll tell them this is all grammatically incorrect. Did you not check your spelling? And they're like, why would I do that? Isn't that kind of limiting?
Like, spelling is open to interpretation. Did you understand what I meant? Well, then what's the problem?
I'm supposed to like, I'm not good at grammar, babes. I couldn't tell you how to use a comma. I use a bunch of them.
You like them?
I don't think I use them very properly. Right. Very well. Very correctly.
Well, that works.
But spelling, yeah, I'm pretty good at spelling. That's a talent that I have. Nah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm gonna come in at 10:30 a.m. I mean, which Gen Zers are you hiring, Jodie Foster?
That's a good question. I feel like that has a lot to do with it.
I work with some Gen Zers at my job. A couple of them are my bosses, quite frankly. And like, they inspire me to be better, honestly. Like, they're super smart, super with it. Like, they are motivating. They're always there on time. They're impeccable communicators. Like, I'm just like, which Nepo babies are you hiring, Jodie Foster?
That's exactly what I thought too. Because I'm like, let's keep it cute because if you were raised where you know you have to work, you're gonna work. I don't care when you were born. If you know you gotta work, you gotta work, and you know how to act. You know,
Because
like,
I'm fully 10 years older than at least one of my more than 10 years older than one of my bosses.
mm-hmm.
And he's phenomenal. He's one of the best bosses I've probably ever had, quite
That's
frankly.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Like, yeah, I don't think, and I think it's like the generalization is kind of like rough for me. Like, yeah, I've met some people who are like younger than me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I mean, I meet a little bit
I'm
everybody.
not saying all of them.
Like,
I'm not saying all of
no,
them.
I
I'm
meet a
saying
little
one
bit
of them.
everybody where I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've met some people that are old enough to be my damn parents, and I'm like, why are you really said that? You really? So I really think it's just it's
Sometimes I say shit where I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
like, why did I say that? Who am I right now?
I'm not proud of that.
I shouldn't have said that. I should apologize for that.
So yeah, I feel like I'm just like, Queen, that's not, I think you're just hiring the wrong people,
I
babe.
think so too. You're
Because,
hiring your best friend's daughter, and she's ridiculous.
yeah, and your best friend's daughter has never had to worry about where money
Mm-mm.
comes from.
Nope.
So they have no concept of that.
Nope. If anything, I feel like I'm more like I'm not feeling a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I know. I mean, I'm not feeling it most days,
right.
point blank. And I like where I work. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. I like where I'm trying to. I mean, genuinely less than complaints.
Right.
I only have compliments at this point.
Absolutely.
And no, I don't always feel like I want to go.
Yeah. I feel like it's like with every generation, there's always like a vocal group of idiots that ruin it for everybody else. I really feel like that's a vibe because like even like how old is Jodie Foster? 60s? Probably.
I think 60s. I
I
mean,
think
she
that's
looks. This picture they use of her. I mean, she looks stunning.
yeah, I mean she looks fantastic.
Yeah.
However, Miss Jodie, like so many people of your generation tend to use generalizations to talk about younger people. Like I've heard some things recently and I'm like, ma'am, sit down. Stop it. You have like the things that people have to deal with now, younger people, as far as like working and coming up the ranks and stuff, it's more difficult than it's ever been to like make it work. People have,
Yeah.
3 or 4 part-time jobs just to like make ends meet and like shut up. Just relax.
Shut the shut up.
Seriously, like what happened? Like if somebody was like, is that flaky? And they're like, well, Aquarius is in retrograde. Like if they're giving you all of that, honey, and they're like, I'm not coming in because of it. Like when was that not an option? And like how many people who of all ages have you heard, some crazy person came in here and worked here for a week and they didn't show up, and when they showed up they were drunk, or we all hear those stories. That happens for everybody. Chill.
Well, and I think about it like, as like a gay person, a queer person, like
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was in my like 20s going to bars and stuff, meeting queer people older than me. They were talking about, how, me coming up, like there were privileges that I get that they never had, and support
Right.
that I get that they never had. And there's younger kids, they're getting it too now. It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
of course, there's a lot of backlash too, but right before that backlash, there was a minute where I was like, oh my God, like neat. And also, yeah, I'm a little bitter because do you know how much nicer that would have been for me if like it wasn't trash? And
Right.
on the same token, so I'm just like, is a part of it just like you're a bitter Betty that there wasn't support for you when you were coming up? And now we have the language, but to you, the language sounds floofy and fluffy. And so many people are just like, well, I've never heard the term cisgender before. Now this is a whole
Mm-hmm.
other thing. I'm using it as an example. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's brand new. And I'm like, no, it's not brand new, babe.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually it wasn't famous. Maybe you were not put in a place to develop that language.
Mm-hmm.
And now thanks to social media, the world is much smaller than it ever has been.
For sure.
And like is a part of it just like older people, and I include myself in that, like, are bitter at the like tools that we have
I mean,
now
it
for the younger
can
people.
be. I mean, because you look at things like now, like where I work, like you get like self-care days that just they don't count against you. It's not like they're calculating that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm sure somebody
I
could
want
look at
that.
girl, like listen, and they like tell you like we recommend you take one a month. Take a self-care day.
Just a
Just
day
let
a
us
month.
know. Yeah. Just to do whatever. No, I see your face.
I'm doing my laundry in the middle of and a podcast in the middle of when I'm supposed to be asleep.
Right.
Do
Right.
you know how nice it would be to just have a day?
Yeah.
I mean, you do, because I just told you how nice it was to have a day that I
Right.
had,
For
but it was
sure.
not
Wasn't
a
planned.
sponsored self-care day. That's coming out of my PTO, darling.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's like I could get that somebody could look at that and be like, well, when I grew, when I was working, didn't get anything like that. Like, yeah, but like, isn't it nice though that people
So
don't have
fuck
to
everybody else, right?
I get it.
Those tools didn't exist for me, so fuck you, die. Like
no, like be happy that things are changing. And it's like that kind of change, it kind of, to me, in my opinion, it spreads. You know what I mean? Like it can be in a place where it would benefit you at some point. If we all have this idea that people need fucking space and room to breathe and a moment like it, that and your wellness is more important than the company's bottom line. Like they can't do it without you being okay, so like let's invest in you being okay. Like that's going to benefit everybody in the long run.
yeah.
If that sort of idea propagates throughout, like yeah, we're all gonna fucking win. Like I was looking at they passed the law where like like fast food workers are gonna make $20 an hour, and people were mad about it. And I'm like, okay, like, hold up. I get it. Because it's like you see this as like an unskilled job, and now you're looking at what you make versus this thing, and that gap is closing on you. And so you feel like, what the fuck did I spend my time doing things to try to make sure I make enough if people are going to be able to do this and make maybe not quite as much as you, but closer to what you're making? And it's like, yeah, I understand that, but the point is, if we're getting to a place where we can kind of start seeing like, yeah, that minimum wage, she ain't it. She's not giving. The cost of living, she's going up. The minimum wage been maintaining the same pace for quite some time. So if we can start to see that like inflation is a thing, and we're starting to slowly understand that more money needs to be made, it will affect across the board eventually. It won't stay where it is. So it's like you have to let the good in somewhere. And just because you're not on the receiving end in this moment does not mean that changing attitudes won't, in the long run, affect everything for the better. So just fucking chill out. Be happy that somebody's getting something nice, and like bide your time, do the right thing, vote the right people in, and that idea will propagate further.
Yeah. And fuck these fast food restaurants for just rolling that into the prices and inflating their prices. You can't tell me those profits are not there.
It's true. It's
those
true.
Profits. You need to invest in the well, and it's just like, I mean, obviously this person that these people, this handful of people that Jodie Foster has worked with, that she's discussing, right? Those are probably people that maybe need to go to a job that doesn't involve working with Jodie Foster, who's arguably a goat, who's not arguably, who's definitely a goat. Like,
absolutely.
If you're working with Jodie Foster, you got to be on your game. You got to be on your shit the whole time. If you are not at that status, then Jodie Foster, you need to, I don't know, you need to get them out of your office. This is you. You did this to you.
Why are you coming to me with this?
If you find good talent and then you cultivate that talent's gonna be loyal.
There you go.
That's that on that.
Talking about like new laws and everything, there's a new law that goes into effect this year that protects workers in California who use cannabis off the job, which I think is about damn time. It's Assembly Bill 2188. It's an amendment to the state's Fair Employment and Housing Act, and it prohibits employers from discriminating against a worker who tests positive for non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in their urine, hair, or bodily fluids. So it basically means that if you get tested and you have THC in your blood or urine, they cannot fire you if you're not using on the job, which I think makes sense, because if you're going to legalize it, you cannot penalize people from using something that is legal. It just doesn't make sense.
Now, I am reading some fine print, and it does say we'll still be able to test for active THC in a person's system, not to mention the impairments test that measure the. So we don't know, non-psychoactive, so that to me sounds like CBD versus THC.
Okay.
And I still think you should be allowed to use THC if you're not working.
I think so too. And I think it just, like, it's kind of like, to me, like, you can have like that's why, like, with your blood alcohol level or something like that, right? It has to be over a certain amount. They're not saying that you cannot have alcohol in your bloodstream. So if it's illegal, you can have it, but it's like, you can't obviously just stumble and drunk. You can't drive while you're drunk. You can't, you can't be doing these things impaired. But at the same time, it's like, if it's a legal substance, how am I going to get in trouble for using it? It's mind boggling.
Well, and like the whole, just the cannabis of it all, it's just like safer than booze.
It's yeah, like, it's safer than so many things that they readily give out happily and will have you on forever. Like, I never used any drugs, period. Nothing. And then, like, maybe like 2 years ago, I deal with anxiety. I take medication for it, different, and nothing at a certain point, you kind of hit like a ceiling. It's like, I'm not going to keep getting more and more medication. I don't want to do this forever. And I tried, it was a gummy. I did an edible. Felt lovely. Anxiety, who is she? I don't know her.
She's not here.
And it's like, you guys would prefer, and it's like, it's there's still like that stigma where you don't, like, I didn't want to tell my psychiatrist, because it's like, are they gonna think I'm like a fucking, pothead or something? Like, because it's like, there's so much stigma, and then, like, being a Black woman on top of it, like, they always think the whole thing with doctors and being Black and female, it's like a whole nother show. But it's like, it's a fear. Like, you have to go in and your shit has to be right. Like, I remember totally different situation. Like, I had a rapid heart rate, and they would always ask, well, do you drink, how much coffee do you drink? And I'm like, I don't really drink coffee. I drink it sometimes. And they would just get so fixated on this. Well, it's like, maybe it's the coffee. And it's like, tell you, like, it's not that.
Maybe I'm having anxiety.
It's to the point where I'm like, I stopped drinking coffee for a really long time because I don't want to hear it. You're going to hear telling you that there's a problem. So it's like, you feel like you have to do such a good job to get help. So it's like, I'm doing this thing, I had an edible, and I'm like, I feel better than I ever have taking Xanax. And I don't fear becoming, like, you can get addicted to Xanax. Like, people,
or you'll get this side effect that then you have to take this pill to combat that side effect, and next thing you know, pharmacy.
It's crazy. So it's like, yeah, like, I don't think, and I would get like scared. Like, I wasn't working anywhere in office or anything like that, so I didn't have to worry about it at the time. But it's like, I can't imagine taking something like that for, anxiety or to sleep or anything like that, and then feeling like, am I going to get in trouble for it? Is it going to be a problem if I go to work in 3 days and test positive? Because they do random test different places and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy that they made this change, because it's a lot, it's ridiculous the way that they still criminalize it.
It's asinine.
It is. It's weird.
So many things. These damn politicians are.
How dare you?
Honey, let's roll on over to Cleveland.
What they doing in Cleveland?
Oh, the University of Wisconsin chancellor's wife appears in porn videos and it cost him his job.
Hmm?
A chancellor with the University of Wisconsin has lost his job after it was revealed he and his wife had been producing and starring in porn videos, then posting them
Together.
online. Posting them online. Actions that the university's president described as abhorrent. The university released a statement saying the board of regents made a unanimous decision Wednesday to fire UW lacrosse chancellor Joe Gao. USA Today reports Gao, 63, and his wife Carmen, 56, posted videos on several porn websites and social media sites as a sexy, happy couple. I love that this article was like, by the way, you could also go watch it.
I mean, listen. I just feel like this. Okay. I remember when I don't know. Okay. We worked together when we were in college, right? That place, they had a clause. Like, if there was anything on your social media that they felt like reflected poorly on them, they could fire you for that. Like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So that.
You worked in HR.
I did work in it. So I knew, yeah. So that was something that everyone had to like agree to. And it's just like, ooh, I've been really careful after that point. And it's like, I feel like it's probably very common that it's common knowledge, right? Like your name is John Smith. And I know John Smith works here, and then I go and look for your name, and honey, this pops up under your account, John Smith on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, why would you do this? And then, listen, you're grown. You want to make porn with your wife, honey? That is your business. But make sure it stays your business. You could take your whole head out. Y'all don't have to be visible. You can have your heads out. You can do your thing, honey. You get your Kickstarter sticks and go ahead and put that on out there and get whatever you get out of it.
Yeah.
Y'all either need to like take some classes in editing or just, save it for yourselves. But yeah, of course they're gonna fire you for that. You asked out on damn internet. Think of that. What they look like.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I don't know, because I think about it and it's like, yeah, I guess if my university chancellor, yeah, I probably don't want them to make porn and post it online.
Right.
Because I don't want to know that about you. Because I don't want to know that about most people.
I don't want to know that really about like anybody.
I mean, there are some Twitter accounts, right? Like, I'm not and I'm not judging, period. I am wondering, like, there are, like, I guess I just feel if you're going to charge me that much to go to, not even belong, but to attend a space.
Right.
And I got all these rules to follow.
Right. That part.
And again, I'm paying, I'm there, but I don't necessarily belong there. And sure, you have an initiative. But I still have all these rules.
You're right.
So I'm going to need you to lead by the example.
Exactly. I'm
just going to need that from you.
For sure. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to. And it's like, it's low-key, like, embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, on, like, a larger stage. It's like, this guy is, like, it's a lot. Like, it's fine.
And, like, unless he's not embarrassed, and they're not embarrassed. I mean, like I said, there are people who do OnlyFans. There are people who, like I said, post on their Twitter. It's like,
right.
And thrilled that they do. Like,
listen,
admire,
get your life.
I don't think that there should be any shame in that at all.
No.
Get your bag, darling, and have fun doing it.
I feel like get your money, right? Completely. No qualms about it. I just think I don't know this man, and I will not make him a certain type of person in my mind. But also in my mind, these people are like they try to pretend like they give this, honey, like, or they're just like it can't be touched. You know what I'm saying? Like they live these perfect lives, or like they make you feel like you have to live up to something, and then you're just out here doing this shit. You know what I mean? And it's like the swiftness with which they would kick or expel somebody for like cheating or something like that. Which is like, okay, yeah, that's not great. You shouldn't have done that. But goddamn, like the way it leaves like a black mark on you, like forever and ever,
the rest of your life because you did this thing.
It's insane to me. You know what I mean? And so it's like at the same time, it's like, yeah,
you're
gonna
uphold
tell me
that.
to do this, but you're out here doing this, and you treat me like I'm the one who's like, you know, under the magnifying glass. That's all. I just think that, yeah, of course you're gonna get fired. That's how that works.
That's how that works, darling.
It's just, it is what it is. A report says 70% of office workers currently have or have had a work spouse, and 7% of people have crossed the line with them. Now, okay, I've never had a work spouse. It's just, I've had people where it's just like, this is, I have like a crew. I have a team. I'm more of like, I'm a family girl. You know what I mean?
Same.
So it's like, we're all in this together. This is like our little clique, you know, like it's more like that to me. Like I've never, because I don't know, like I honestly, I'm not like that, like compartmentalized where it's like I'm like buddy with this guy who's straight or something, and it's like, yeah, it's my work husband. It's like, no, bitch, I probably want you to be my real husband if I'm saying all that shit. So it's like, let's just keep it cute. Like I don't mix that line. Like if I feel like that, that's how I feel. If I feel like we just work well together, I would never call you my work husband, because that's
like,
weird.
No, and like, no shade, I just feel that is a straight people thing.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And like, not just a straight people thing, but it's like a straight people thing. You know what I mean?
Aggressive, straight.
It's like a straight people thing. I've always had at least one, if not 3 or 4, really close. Like they're my friends, and like even when it was just one, you know what I call them?
What?
My bestie, my queen, my friend.
This is my favorite coworker.
Even if you're gay, and there could be potential there, or if you're married or whatever, you're my friend.
Right.
And unless I work.
Would you ever, is that a thing for you? Is that a vibe?
I never called that. I like, right now I work with a lot of people overnight, but there are 2 that I hang out with most prominently when I have a long enough break too.
Mm-hmm.
And like they work together almost every night. Like they're literally like, it's a coordinator, and then it's the person that they coordinate.
Boom.
Usually this department has 2 coordinators and like 10 people that are coordinated, but overnight it's one coordinator. And so like they are the 2 full-time overnight, so they spend a lot of time together, but like I don't think they would call it workplace, like my work husband or my work. I think they would just be like, yeah, I have to work with you.
Yeah.
And then one day one of us will leave, and then we won't work together.
And that's all there is to it. Oh,
but they're also friends.
Yeah, yeah, of course. They're chill, but it's not like that level. I know someone who did this, and it was totally platonic. It was totally fine. I think it can be a okay thing because they really did work really, really well together, and they had a lot of fun, and they were just very good friends. And it's just something, because they were so comfortable with each other, they were able to say that. Yeah, but it was fine. But I think for me, I don't think I could. If I'm saying that, I'm saying something else.
Romanticizing a thing that doesn't have to be romanticized. Why can't you just be 2 people who work together, who like each other too, and like each other in a way that like you're a person who exists, and I like that about you.
I like you being alive and whatnot.
The straights can't do it.
Listen, I don't know if I never know if I'm just like strange in that way where I'm just like, because if I'm saying that, I'm saying something else. I'm not saying that like, because I worked really well with this guy. He was real cool. And I 90% of my friends that are male are gay. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But it's like, I'm never like, you're like my boyfriend, but not, right? Like I can't do it. I can't. It's weird to me. It's like, if I'm saying that, I don't want you to be a work husband. I want this to be something else. Like,
Like
I
it's
told
just
this one guy who was obviously, he was also gay. I was like, we're like, you know, you're like a brother to me. Like, I'll say something like that. Like, I like hanging out with you. We work well together. This is fun. Let's just keep the gang together. But that's as far as I can go with it.
yeah, same.
You're my
Yeah, I
buddy.
could go with like workplace cousin. Like there are a lot of guys that I work with, and like of course they're all straight, but like the they all give like older cousin energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that about them.
Right.
You know, I like that about them,
But that's it.
but that's what that is,
Yeah, for sure. That's it.
honey. But let's. I wonder if this relates.
Get into it.
We have a letter from Jay. We'll call
Yep.
them. I had a coworker so inappropriate that HR banned her from talking to me.
That's crazy.
More constant work life.
Mm-hmm.
My coworker was uncomfortably chatty and flirtatious since day one. At first, I tried to have polite conversations with her, but after a month of working together, she asked me out for drinks. I told her no because I had a girlfriend, which she knew because she asked me once before. After this, she started getting weird with questions.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, she was asking how things were going with my girlfriend and how things were going in the bedroom.
Gross.
I'll never ask a coworker that.
Like, I don't want to know.
I do have coworkers who have brought like genuine questions about sex stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like on a personal,
Right.
but like literally just like
How? What? Why?
question, you know,
Could you help me?
or like an is it weird if, but it's like I've never just been like,
So how's it going?
let's see. I shut her down immediately and threatened to report her, so she stopped with that, but would still invite me to lunch, which I always declined.
Mm-hmm.
She again crossed the line when I was in a meeting. I left my cell phone on my desk charging. She took a selfie of herself and
Gross.
texted my girlfriend, "Hi, this is blank. I'm your boyfriend's work wife, and I hope you're not uncomfortable with me and him being friends."
That's so cringy. That's
We
so
don't have
ridiculous.
passcodes on our phone. What year did
Oh.
this happen?
Oh.
This is Nokia. Do you have a Nokia?
Maybe they're just like chill. I don't
Um,
know.
Of course, she didn't care if my girlfriend was uncomfortable. She was trying to cause problems in our relationship. She also mentioned that I was always talking about how my girlfriend wouldn't approve of us being friends. This was a flat out lie. It was never about my girlfriend not approving. It was never about me not being interested because I was taken and did not want to cross any boundaries that could negatively affect my relationship.
Right.
Um, she was trying to paint it like I was complaining about my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
This backfired on her because my girlfriend already knew all about her, called her out on her BS. After my lunch break, my girlfriend called me and told me everything that happened. The next day, I was at our HR office showing them the text. I also mentioned how she hadn't stopped pushing me out for drinks and asking inappropriate questions about my relationship. They had a sit down with her, but ultimately nothing was done. Just a light slap on the wrist.
That's so stupid.
They told her she wasn't allowed to speak to me anymore.
Don't talk to him now.
They did ask me about switching departments, but I declined it. I ended up leaving a few months later because it pissed me off that they wouldn't do any more for her trying to
Mm-hmm.
sabotage my relationship. I know someone who's had a similar.
Oh, wow.
This was years ago. Let
Mm-hmm.
me turn my do not disturb back on. That doesn't just disturb me. I was working at a place, and there were like four of us. We were all of similar age and
Right.
hashtag besties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was one straight guy, and then me and like two ladies. And one of the ladies was like very flirtatious with the straight guy,
Mm-hmm.
and like the straight guy, like, I mean, he and I were like pretty good friends at the
Right.
time. And as was I with one of the girls, there were three girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them was very flirtatious. And then like they would kind of hang out a lot, or like they would work together a lot. And like he was like nice, you know, but
Right.
like he and I would hang out a lot. He would hang out with the other girls. So,
He
you
was
know,
just chill.
sometimes you're working on projects and like I'm doing this one with you. No, you're doing that one with her. No, you two
Mm-hmm.
are doing that. And then one day the girl that was a little too flirtatious, and he had a long distance girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And one day the one who was a little too flirtatious was like, um, you know, he like made a move.
Wait,
And
what?
like he made a move.
Uh-huh.
And like now it's like a thing. But like
What?
we can, you know, he doesn't want his like girlfriend to find out. And like I thought this guy and I were like pretty close.
Right.
So finally I was just like, Queen, are you guys like, is this somebody just, are you cheating on her?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what happened? And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, literally she's crazy. Absolutely
Oh
not.
my God.
And like there was, and like she would come back with details,
Oh my
specificity.
God.
And so I'd be like, you know, he said this, and he's like, I think she's crazy. Um, Now ultimately, the one who the girl who was like, I should just wrote this in. Ultimately, she ended up dating someone else who worked there
Mm-hmm.
and started dating him.
Mm-hmm.
She never said, but she never said that she lied about things that were
Mm-mm.
happening with the other guy that I was friends with, and he was always like, "She's literally crazy. Absolutely not. Like I have never spent any more time with her than I have with you or you or you." And like I
Mm-hmm.
never have. Like, you know, I've been in my long distance relationship for years. Like very faithful. Like love that person so much.
Right.
Don't really like this person at all.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm like, I think I believe him. Um, you know,
Right.
and it is one of those things where it's like, why wasn't HR going
Told.
to?
Yeah. I
Because
don't
I guess
know.
on the one hand, it didn't seem like that big of a deal,
Right.
but on the other hand, it like thinking about it, it was like, no, that is a big deal.
That's a huge deal. Like, yeah, like I don't know if it's like for guys, if that's different, if they feel like they're fine or like, like they don't want to make a big deal out of it. Like, I think the guy in the story, I think it's awesome that he went to HR and be like, listen, this girl is crazy. Like,
Yeah,
because they think you need to do that because of obviously for documentation and then to try to resolve it because you don't know what these people are thinking. Like, if you're
it's
willing to go all in his phone, like to me, that alone, like if I was working anywhere and I walked back and someone had my phone, we would have a problem. Like,
what are you doing? What do you
like
need from that?
what's happened? Like, I would go to HR for that. Like the fact that
Yeah,
she took that extra step and was like all in his business and trying to, mess up his relationship and stuff. The fact that they did nothing, I feel like that's fucking crazy. Because if
that
anything
is
happens, it's on you because you were notified.
well, and it's like even if you are dating coworkers, you have to go to HR in
Yeah.
most places and be like, hey, by the way, we're dating. This is consensual. The things that we're
Right.
doing, we both want to do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a workplace harassment, sexual or otherwise.
Right.
Um, so yeah, the fact that they would just be like, yeah, because I'm just like, we don't behave that way. I could
No.
see that's some like high school, middle school, not properly socialized
Right. Don't really
behavior
get it.
that, yeah, that you can go to the adults and the adults can be like, knock it off. And then, like,
Right.
you know, ideally you learn that, hopefully.
And
This
that's
person
it.
didn't learn that
No.
because this is an absolute hell no.
For sure. And I think like I'm glad that he got out of there because that stuff, if you let it go on, it can get really, really scary. Like really
Well,
scary.
and I just think I've never had this happen to me, but like there was a moment at one of my other jobs that like there were these guys and they were saying some like anti-queer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like I went to my boss. I didn't go to HR immediately because
Mm-hmm.
it was in like a group text.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to HR immediately. I went to my boss, who I felt comfortable because I felt comfortable with my boss.
Right, right, right.
And I went to him in person and I said, "Hey, you know, da da da. this is, and I was like really stressed about it the days leading up to talking to my boss because I was like, I don't
Right.
know if I'm going to actually have this support. And I basically went to him and I said, here's the thing, this has happened at other workplaces. And I have gone to HR and HR has done the thing. And do you know what HR did?
What?
They fired the people who were doing the behavior that they should have been doing.
That's what you do.
And so I told my boss, I said, either you make it to where I don't see this shit again.
Right.
Or I will.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, that was my boss, not HR.
Right.
And fortunately, my boss was like, you'll never see it again. And I never did.
Good.
But I'm just saying, like, I literally was like, this isn't going to happen. Either I'm the one that's going to make it or you're the one that's going to make it. I don't understand why an HR department would just be like,
it's fine. But
also, I don't know. I feel like I had a beef. I didn't go to the employees that were doing it because I knew how that was going to go. Men are boys at the end of the day. And I went to someone that they would listen to.
Right.
And was like, I need some skin in this game, sir. And that's you right now. Like, if someone was doing that shit to me, I would say either you make it to where I don't see this shit again.
Right.
Or I will. I would just tell that coworker that we're not friends. And then I would probably go to HR.
Yeah. I feel like it's such a...
How I would have handled that.
It's crazy. It's like this whole thing. But yeah, I'm glad that he got out of there because like it's like this is like a big thing, but it's like the reason like all the stalking laws were even made were because it started like this one case where this guy was like obsessed with his coworker and she would go to HR and she's like, this is happening. And they weren't really taking it seriously. And she go back, like, it's still happening. It's like, okay, well, we'll talk to him. And it's like, hey, it's still happening. And the guy ends up like shooting up the whole building and all this kind of stuff long run. So it's like, this stuff can get really messy. So if your whole job is to keep the workplace safe, fire this person and get them out of here as quickly as possible before it's like a year in.
And if you don't have the evidence, then say you don't have the evidence. This is the kind of evidence that we need.
Yeah.
And get a case file started.
Exactly. I mean, because
that's literally standard. I've never worked in HR. You've worked in HR. I've never worked in HR, but I know that.
It's totally standard. Like I've known people to be fired for way less.
Yeah.
Like for sure. And it's like, girl, like that the level of like nonsense that can come from somebody like literally being out of their fucking mind and just like all in your like that is just such a bad situation like waiting to happen. So congratulations to this gentleman, Jay. You did what you had to do. You rang the bell, you rang the alarm, and you got out.
If that were my man, I would be pretty proud of him just because
I love you too.
Because it's like you said no, and like you made sure that I know that you said no.
He's like, no.
Even though HR didn't handle it the way, semantics would be what they are. Like, I like that. I just feel like there aren't a lot of faithful ones out there, and it feels like
he's like, no, not just really no, hell no. We're not doing this, sweetie. She knew about you. How about that? She knew what you were up to. So go somewhere with this nonsense. I just like even just touching my phone, we would have fought.
I mean, why are you touching it?
Why? And then contacting people in the bitch. Like, are you serious?
Well, also, why wasn't your phone locked, Jay?
I mean, listen.
Here's
no one's perfect.
Jay, I have notes, and they're not formal grievances or complaints regarding you. They're just like these are ways to enhance your life, quite frankly. Honey, if you got a story like this, send it on over. workplacecomedy@gmail.com. WERK placecomedy@gmail.com.
Work.
At workplace comedy WERK on the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't posted in a while. It's hard. It's hard.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it together though.
It's gonna happen.
I believe in us. 2024.
2024.
Let's get it.
We're not writing it down. We're just gonna do better every single day.
There you go.
And at the Michelle O.
Hi.
On our Instagram. At Sam Everett Baker on Instagram. We're also on YouTube. Don't know. It's probably Workplace Comedy on YouTube, but I don't know. But there's a link on the Instagram and probably in the episode comments too. That's not up and running yet because we're trying to get captions. Because we're doing the transcripts, and the transcripts are so expensive.
Right.
They cost as much as subtitles for a video. So why wouldn't we just... That to say, Michelle, I think, has a way for us to get them done.
Yeah, we're
more
working
affordably. So it's going to be on the YouTube. We will have a visual way for you to watch and to listen, as well as the accessibility,
right,
of being able to read the words and like see our faces and stuff. Yeah. Any advice, Michelle?
Honey, ring the alarm. That is
ring the alarm.
Ring the alarm. I've been through this too long. Yeah, just go ahead and like, if it's, don't put up with that stuff. Don't do it. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game. It's not worth it. Yeah.
And you can use the words, either you make it to where I don't see this shit again, or I will.
That's perfect.
And that means going to HR. That is not a threat for anything.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
I can't fight.
In that moment, I felt it though, Sam, when you were like, or I will. I was like, oh.
Well, because I said it, but I'm not gonna fight you. It's just like, either you make it to where this isn't an issue anymore, or I'm gonna make it to where this isn't an issue anymore. And then I'm always going to the proper authorities, who will then include the things. And if there's not enough evidence to prove that I'm not in a safe environment, they'll give me a template list as far as what to look for. And record.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
So yeah, honey, if either you make it to where I don't see this shit again, or I will.
In the parking lot. Meet me outside.
HR's office. Some lights that are a little too fluorescent for any of our preferences.
Right.
It's a little colder.
It always is a little chillier in HR.
Hopefully you're wearing like a pant. Otherwise you might stick to the chair.
You just might. You just might.
But via going to HR.
Right. For sure. Not a street fight in the parking lot.
No.
Meet me outside.
Meet me in HR. Don't actually meet me in HR. I'm just gonna let HR call you directly.
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone by that point. I'm not gonna
be in there. We might have to mediate. Yeah, we might have to mediate later, but not today.
I'm not. You're not gonna see me. You're not gonna know it was me. You're gonna think it was me, maybe.
But
I'm not gonna.
It isn't. It wasn't.
Who did that?
Didn't hear anything.
It's gonna be a surprise, like little arbitration meeting. I'm just gonna be sitting there.
I'm just here for I like watching the processes.
I'm a very curious person.
Yeah, I just want to learn. Yes, he said that. No, honey.
We did it, Sam.
We're gonna see you at work.
We'll see ya in the break room. I don't know.